On the next slide here, what we're going to talk about, happiness, is there a difference? And it's interesting because some studies that we're going to show you here suggest that homeowners actually tend to report higher life satisfaction, often tied to housing satisfaction, which of course includes stability and control. That makes some sense to me. If you are able to commit the dollars necessary, and actually I'm going to come back a little bit later and comment on that, the dollars you have to spend for a home on a mortgage versus paying rent. But if you're willing to commit to, spending some of those additional dollars to have home ownership, again, you've bought an asset. It's increasing value over time, at least in most cases. Fundamentally, that should provide you more satisfaction versus you're sitting in an apartment paying a rent payment where that money's just gone. It's providing you housing over your head, right? But otherwise, it's not an asset at all. It's just money bleeding out of your monthly household budget, and you're not really getting anything in return that's going to appreciate over time other than that roof over your head. And again, for some folks, that's fine. I understand. But it would make just logical sense that group as a whole probably aren't going to have quite the same level of life happiness and satisfaction as somebody who who owns a home, and so they've got that same roof over their head, but they're at least able to see that over time they're building wealth. They're seeing and creating more equity from making that mortgage payment and just from the market value of their home going up. But at the same time, as the next bullet point is going to show you, another study has kind of identified the fact that people tend to overestimate the happiness boost that does occur from owning a home. And I would say one issue where I do hear about this sometimes is, some would argue that, well, if you own a home, and having a mortgage payment, that's not the whole story. There's more expenses in owning a home than just your mortgage payment. Why? Well, maintenance and repairs. So some would argue that, the mortgage payment, taxes and insurance, that's only really half the cost. You've got to realize that you're going to have maintenance and repair estimates that when you're a renter, in most cases, you don't have to incur those. If something breaks, the AC goes out, the heater goes out, whatever it might be, you call the landlord and they fix it. And usually at their expense, not yours. Of course, you have to deal with the fact that maybe that landlord is not going to react to that need very quickly. You may have to bug them a little bit. Maybe they're going to make the repair or do the maintenance issue at a level of completion and condition that's not to your satisfaction. Again, you can start to see these trade-offs.